Have you ever found yourself scrambling to stop your partner from saying or doing embarrassing things? Or has your empathy for other people kept you from wanting them to feel embarrassed instead of keeping yourself honest and standing by what you believe? If that's the case, you might be stuck in a place of enabling and you might be dealing with some unknown inner shame. I'm Ketra Thompson, and I'm a certified master hypnotist and a life recovery coach. Join me today as we jump into the topic of how to stop saving other people at the expense of yourself. And before we dive in, I just want to mention, please hit like and subscribe if you'd like to be notified every time I post a new video. And also there is a link in the description of this video to set up a totally complimentary consultation call with me if you'd like to find out how to work with me. So have you ever found yourself feeling like the cleanup crew after someone else said or did something embarrassing and you just feel so embarrassed for them that you try to clean up the mess? You know, you end up smoothing it over and trying your best to minimize the impact or what other people might be thinking about it. The truth here is that you are so focused on allowing the other person to appear better than you that you go into that cleanup crew mode. This can especially happen a lot with women who have grown up or been conditioned to believe that they're not allowed to upstage or outshine their spouse. And so because that's the way they've been taught, they tend to try to smooth over and minimize those things so they can keep themselves small and they can keep their partner looking really good. But the honest truth is that it can happen in any kind of relational dynamic, not just marriage. There may be a part of you that subconsciously believes that if you don't let the other person shine bigger and brighter than you, that maybe they won't love you anymore. Maybe they won't want to be around you anymore. And so you end up shrinking down so that they can look good. So that's when that part of us that just deeply wants to be loved and accepted has just learned that the price of being loved is that we have to shrink ourselves. And it's a deep subconscious belief that sometimes we're just not even aware of. Be honest with yourself for a minute. How many times have you said to someone else that, oh, it's okay, it's fine, no biggie, but the truth is, it wasn't fine? Or how about those times when you've been in a group of other people and your partner says something embarrassing, and so you quickly change the subject and try to deflect the focus off of them and onto something else? Maybe part of you feels like if they say something stupid, that it reflects badly on you. And that's valid, especially in a marriage, that you would commonly feel like that if your partner is saying things that might be embarrassing. But most likely, it means that you don't want to look at reality. Because if you look at reality, you would have to realize that you are the one that needs to make a change, and you are the one that needs to stop shrinking back and trying to clean up the messes of other people. And at the root of this, it's because you're choosing to put yourself last. And you're likely choosing it because of some subconscious belief that you're not even really consciously aware of. If you're empathetic or an insightful person, then you probably see the pain in the other person. You probably see the places where you know they need healing and you feel all kinds of empathy toward them, and you think you just want to help them get to that place of healing, and you want to show all kinds of empathy toward them because you can see their highest self even if they're not living into their highest self. So what can you do to change this dynamic? Well, first you need to realize that when you find yourself wanting to focus on how you can help that other person, you're not focusing on your own needs. You might even be subconsciously scaring the other person because on some level they know that you know something deeper about them. You know that there's a brokenness there and you're seeing into a part of them that they have not yet been willing to explore. The other thing that happens is you can deny your own boundaries for so long that finally you just snap And the snap is certainly justified, especially because when it happens, it's usually you boldly telling them the truth, but it comes out in such a harsh way because you've spent so much time suppressing reality, suppressing what you feel, suppressing what you're seeing, instead of speaking up in the moment and explaining to the other person that this behavior is not okay. It's not tolerable by you. This is not something you're willing to accept. And creating boundaries in your life that actually let the other person know how you will and will not be treated. Instead, it all builds up inside until you have this moment where you can't do anything but push back because you've reached your wit's end. And it's not that pushing back is a bad thing always. It can be a good thing, but what you want to do is you want to get to that place where you are so regularly explaining in the moment what is and is not okay with you that you are letting out those frustrations in real time instead of letting them build up into something that explodes. So the most rapid and effective way for you to really make this change in your life is through a customized hypnotherapy program or process. The thing is, hypnotherapy allows you to access the root cause of what is creating this behavior in your life. It allows you to access where the belief was formed so you can actually reframe your belief around that and create this rapid transformation in your life so that you finally can connect with a deeper sense of self-worth, the kind of self-worth that doesn't believe that it has to shrink down in order to be accepted and loved by other people. This really helps you to not only raise your standards for other people, but also raise your standards for yourself and come from a place that is calm and confident, where those fears aren't driving your behavior anymore. So before you can actually be different, you have to be able to know what you want and start functioning from a different frame of mind. You're so much more powerful than you know. And it's likely that just throughout life, you've been conditioned to believe that you have to be this way in order for other people to love you. And it's caused you to put your focus on other people, helping other people, and being available to other people. But what that does to you is it actually robs you of the time that you really need to spend focusing on yourself and being self-reflective about those belief systems that aren't serving you in your life. So once you're ready to finally get the belief systems and judgments that were actually placed in your subconscious mind by other people out of there, that's when you're going to find that you can be open in a relationship, not just an intimate or romantic relationship, but all the relationships in your life, where you can have the boundaries that you need to, and that you can speak up regularly about your preferences, about your boundaries, about what is and isn't acceptable, without feeling like you have to rescue the other person, that you have to deflect attention off of them and their bad behavior in order to save them in some way. You don't have to do that. And when you get to a place of deep self-worth, you finally know that it doesn't mean you're a bad person just because you aren't willing to shrink yourself down for someone else. The truth is that doing that doesn't serve you or the other person. So when you're ready to finally break free from that cycle, when you're ready to invest in your own healing, set up that consultation call. The link is in the description. I would love to go into more detail about this and really help you get to the root of this issue, because you can change it. You can have a different life. You can feel light and confident and go through life without this inner fear of being rejected just because you want to be yourself. So until next time, curate a life by your own design.